Well, there might be a bit of fiddling from Jorge Sampaoli.
The ball's inflated.
Not sure there's going to be any deflate gates this summer, but it could be a bit chilly. Sampaoli going with a starting 11 that has a few changes. Obviously, Claudio Bravo on one side, Arturo Vidal on the other of the Champions League final tomorrow. A bit preoccupied, but they will be available. Herrera doing well, and Freddy Gutierrez as well in his place. There will be a few changes, you would imagine, and perhaps some quite early. 6 allowed. Trying to figure out where Sampaoli would want to really see some different faces, probably in the midfield, and maybe also to give Vargas and Sanchez a break.
Here's the build-up. Excellent work. Alexis Sanchez out wide for Boussajud, and Boussajud essentially playing as a winger. Forget that his title is as a fullback in this formation. This formation doesn't use fullbacks. It's all about getting forward, and here it's an excellent ball from Alexis Sanchez, essentially a blindfolded pass. He knew exactly where Boussajud was going to be, knew the overlapping run was coming. Valdivia continues his run. Really is just telekinesis from Chile. Excellent work in the build-up, and Valdivia, he's been at the center of it all, hasn't he? Both in the goal that he scored and also the build-up. He's been that creative force in between the midfield and the attack, that link up between the two, and every time he gets in possession, he always looks downfield, takes a look at all of his options, and always goes for a through ball. I wonder who will be the man, the odd man out once Arturo Vidal gets here. Has quite a busy day tomorrow. Such a talented player who can fill nearly every single position. You can play him in that midfield 3, you can play him behind the strikers, and curious to see what Sampaoli does. I wouldn't take El Valdivia. If he's going to play like this, he could really be just another X factor in the starting lineup. Maybe play Vidal a little bit further back. Either way, it's a pretty good luxury to have.
Looks like there will be at least a couple of changes. David Pizarro ready to step in.
Speaking of luxury, how about this? David Pizarro, such an underrated deep line playmaker. Plays in that Pirlo mold.
Could play in that Valdivia role as a playmaker, but tends to play a bit deeper and tends to play quite well with other talented players. So can play deep as Diaz, maybe more like a Gutierrez or an Aranguiz.
Excellent player. Spent a long time in Serie A.
Nice round of applause. And it sounds like it was Felipe Gutierrez who takes a seat, the 24-year-old Dutch-based midfielder.
See how they play. Diaz is in that role that David Pizarro likes to play in. Well, Pizarro just plays slightly wide of Diaz. Let's see how Sampaoli lines up.
Fernando Rapellini, the 37-year-old Argentine, seems ready. So are we. Second half getting underway from Rancagua. And we are underway. Mentioned earlier that when the sun sets in Chile, it can drop quite a bit on the thermostat. It was 65 degrees at kickoff. As we start the second half, it's down to 59. Not that bad, as you mentioned, for many of these players who ply their trade in Europe, and not that bad on the pitch. Might be a bit chilly on the sidelines, though. One of the reasons Jorge Sampaoli quite bundled up. David Pizarro stripping off his warm-up and onto the field. Bit more of an offensive look as Pizarro, as you said,
excellent ball right away.
Resista roll, launches it to the corner. Isla, but offside.
Yeah, it's going to be Diaz playing slightly to his right as far as I can tell. Pizarro loves playing that central role right in front of the defense where he can orchestrate the play. Bit of a different player. Diaz likes playing that simple ball. Keep it low, and Pizarro always playing with his head held high and looking for that deep pass over the top, and he's going to have plenty of options making the run into space.
Fiorentina finishing, I guess you could say, considering all the injuries, a bit of a surprising fourth. Pizarro, a little bit more of the elder statesman now, but still loaded with talent. You kind of sense that he will be smiling heartily if they can find a way to keep Gomez and Rossi healthy for a season. Looking long.
Excellent ball once again.
Trying to drive in the box. Alexis stops, delivers. Valdivia just denied as he cuts back to his right.
He's been on the field for 1 minute already. A passing masterclass from David Pizarro. 2 excellent long balls over the top. Here's another one.
Third, just plucked away before Alexis could bring it down.
It's completely changed the dynamic now.
Well,
more trouble brewing for El Salvador.
Alvarez trying to pull a Pizarro off his line. Herrera to snuff out the chance. You can obviously see what Sampaoli saw on the sideline as they tried to work things up down the line to Bocejur and Isla on the other side and through the middle to Valdivia.
That's what Pizarro has done throughout his career with both Roma, now Fiorentina.
Gives him that ability to break down a defense with one touch.
Well, even spent a season in the Premier League.
Here he is. Valdivia on the turn. That should open space for him as well. This time Isla beats the flag and the defense. Larin catching up, back heel. Aranguiz across the face of goal, but Alexis can't get it. Bit of a pulse from Chile to start this second half, and El Salvador better be careful. Here's Medel as Valdivia screams for it. Pass off to Pizarro. Again, Isla. Skips across the 6, 3 red jerseys, but none could get it. Pizarro again with a little back heel. Chipped across, off woodwork. Valdivia, a brilliant follow, but the header denied. Ripped off the boot of Vargas and cleared back to midfield.
This is just champagne football of the highest order. And what a change it's made with David Pizarro coming in.
The backspin on those passes has been magnificent.
Every single time he gets the ball, he looks downfield, and he's played about 5 perfect passes over the top. Not taking any time, constantly going over the top. He was faking the shot, then just that little dink over the top. It really is such a joy to watch it. What a way to start the second half for Chile, the home side, and the fans are in for a treat.
Diaz scoops it outside again. Pizarro, the focal point over these opening 4 minutes. And now you see why. Back heel Isla. Chile playing with much more confidence. Isla again spots Diaz, lets it run. Aranguiz to the goal line. Back heel Diaz. Valdivia much more sharp. Valdivia into the corner. Weaves, turns, caresses for Isla. Tackled away by Molina at the last moment.
Looks like they're having so much fun out there. And here's the play here from Pizarro. He comes forward, fakes the shot. No, gonna go with that little dink over the top for Valdivia. Hits him right in stride, and this should have been goal number 2. The header just goes off the woodwork. A bit unlucky there. Slightly behind him, Valdivia. Or rather, Alexis Sanchez, who got the final header in. It's not really their game in the air, Chile. That has to be their biggest weakness, considering that I think their tallest player is about 5'9".
Strong challenge in the midfield from Molina. Play on as Vargas runs away from the pressure. Nice little turn. Alexis brings it back, drives it in, deflected. Fans wanted a handball, but no. Calls for Pizarro, top of the box. Again, elects to pass. Look at a player like David Pizarro. 35 years of age. In many ways, I think because of all the creative talent he has at Fiorentina, offside again, they haven't played him to exhaustion in recent years. But he looks fresh and a difference maker.
Such a pivotal part of those Roma sides in the midfield. Played under Spalletti, some other good coaches as well. And so underrated. It's not a name you hear about too much, but what a magnificent, it happens again.
It's a master class from Pizarro. And by the way, for any of you Barcelona fans looking, Pirlo at 36 can still do the same. Of course, El Salvador is not Barcelona. Pizarro again. Like an angel's touch. Crossed Beausejour, too high for Sanchez. Diaz back. Again, finding the magic
Wants it
man.
every time.
Laid back Beausejour. Again clearing space. This time driving it in low. But Isla was probably, like the rest of us, too busy watching. Just a tease of what we will see over the next few weeks.
Tell you what, Pizarro's putting in quite a plea to Sampaoli. Probably won't happen, but should get some time, some serious time at the Copa America.
Jaime Alas checking in. Really one of the only proven creative talents available on the El Salvador bench. His 42nd appearance out of Municipal. There he is, the number 8 in the background. In fact, you take a look, only Rafa Burgos has scored more goals from this Salvadoran side. Bit experimental as Rocco tries to build a Gold Cup squad. Driven across. Pizarro looking to see if it's just as nice on the right. And Puñed finds a way to slow him down.
No other choice, and he was beat. Doesn't want Pizarro to play that ball in that position, especially with all the options that he does have and all of his vision. Now it sets up a very interesting set-piece opportunity. Probably going to curl it in. Center of the box. You don't think he's going to go for it from this distance.
Gives you an option. Also frees Valdivia for a little shenanigans if needed. Diaz. About 25 yards out on an angle. Maybe even a bit closer to 30. Punched away. Contreras just got enough. Trying to drop it right at the edge of the 6 in no man's land. 10 minutes into the second half, and whatever Jorge Sampaoli said at the break seems to have worked. Of course, probably what he said the most was, hey, Pizarro, get out there.
And that's been the game plan since he has come in. Get the ball to Pizarro in that central position and allow him to survey his options downfield. He's been at the center of it all.
Again, spinning away from Puñed, who looks like he's been giving a bit of man-marking responsibility in the second half. Again, Pizarro, up steps Puñed, quickly gets rid of it, pops on Isla, sliding through Alas.
Yep.
Didn't mean to do it, but the ref doesn't care.
Not the best introduction into the match. Doesn't get any of the ball, but slides right through. Scissors Isla.
Edu Vargas really yet to get his first true crack at goal as Sampaoli paces. Well, Diaz mentioned that free kick that saved the dinosaurs from extinction in the Bundesliga. Drives it in and just misses that post.
How about that?
Over the wall and somehow misses the net.
Plenty of power there. Diaz from distance. Let's see. Yeah, he doesn't even
goes around.
Avoids the wall altogether. Trying to get that curling effect. Needs a bit of pace as well from that distance and not too far off.
Medel quickly forward. El Salvador trying to pick the pace up just a touch. Realizing laying back with Pizarro out there is a recipe for disaster.
They need to press Pizarro though. Force him into a decision, and once again he splits them.
Out wide for Beausejour. Hangs it high. Vargas meets it on the full volley, but sends it wide.
Chances are the Chilean players aren't going to catch those crosses in the air with their heads. Much prefer allowing the ball to settle and then just going for that full strength volley. Had that one been in between the pipes, I don't think Luis Contreras would have even seen it.
Argentina on the plane, about to take off to San Juan, where they will face Bolivia tomorrow. You can catch that on beIN Sports. Should be fun heading into these Copa America matches, the friendlies leading up to it, an opportunity for teams like El Salvador to test themselves against some of the very best at their peak. Vital for Albert Roca, but he's still looking for an answer to the puzzle. Vargas. Valdivia. You knew what he wanted to do. Trying to spin away Bonilla, and finally screwed into the turf. Well,
it's going to be Bonilla coming out. Had that one chance in the first half when he tried to take on the entire Chilean defense, but the shot just sailed over the crossbar.
Bonilla exits. Erwin Herrera, the only other forward other than Rafa Burgos available on the bench. Just his fourth appearance out of Santa Tecla, one of the smaller teams in El Salvador's top flight. Not a bad idea sending the ball long for Herrera, but Medel reads it well.
Oh, he's on form today, Pizarro. Fans are loving it. Now mixing it up with his feet.
If he'd just been able to avoid a few injuries and maybe also found that right team after Roma. I would have thought Fiorentina would have been a perfect fit under Montella with so many other great playmakers, but they just never were able to find someone who could bury those passes. As we see, Pizarro, one of the all-time greats. That might be the first bad pass he's made since he stepped on the pitch. Pizarro again after nice work from Isla. Herrera giving more of a target man for El Salvador if they can just get the ball back. Garcia giving chase far side. Beausejour. Aranguiz. Beausejour. Nice Aranguiz. Back heel again. A good run. He tries to cut square. And if that offside is correct, it's a very narrow call.
Looked very close. Live time. Looks like Beausejour just sneaked inside. Already caused some trouble there. It's the play that led to the goal. Let's see. Oh, maybe just a touch offside. I thought number 13 might have been keeping him on, Alexander Larin.
Good eyes from Javier Usiga on this near side. El Salvador needs all the help it can get. Herrera trying to win it, gets enough on it for Alvarez. Alas got his start in the River Plate youth system before moving back to El Salvador and now to neighboring Guatemala. Used to playing for the Reds, not against them.
Haven't seen Arturo Alvarez involved so far. I think that's his first touch in the entire second half. Very good in the first half.
Quick run, Vargas into the middle. Valdivia wants it back. Pizarro again spanks it far side. No chance for Alexis. Some of the magic rubbing off just a touch, but appreciated by the fans. Well, part of that appreciation is the fact that they're going to have to watch on TV like the rest of us. Driving in. Shot deflected from Herrera, and it spins wide towards the flag.
Oftentimes when they do attack El Salvador, it is the striker alone on an island, has barely any support. That chance right there, the one from Nelson Bonilla in the first half, that was Herrera, the man who just replaced Bonilla.
Fans here a little bit over an hour away from Santiago, but good luck getting tickets. Alas towards the spot, headed down. A little bit of a tussle. Renderos trying to keep it alive. High into the air from Vargas. Valdivia challenging. Valdivia playing a bit of defense. Diaz skips away. Popping through the midfield though, and drawing a foul. Aranguis. Well, the one thing that's obvious, Valdivia in the first half was the linchpin for the Chile attack, even more than Alexis Sanchez. And in the second half, it's been Pizarro. Two players above, in cases of Pizarro, well above the age of 30. Isla almost gets there. I guess the one thing is if they can keep those two healthy, they could go a ways.
Need two sets of lungs, don't they, these fullbacks for Chile? How many times have Busajor and Isla made that run? And every single time they do, pass always comes their way.
Looks like another substitution as the Chile fans serenade.
Padilla.
Big man stepping in. Valdivia perhaps saw him limping just a touch. Padilla, the proverbial bull in a china shop.
And will be remembered for that crossbar he hit in the World Cup against Brazil. Had that gone in, how would that World Cup have shaped up differently?
Well, Brazil
also
probably wouldn't have met Germany. Off to the near side. Isla just got under it as he lost his balance. Sanchez on Garcia.
Excellent.
Leaves him in his rearview mirror, forces it inside. Vargas wins it back. Diaz, Pizarro, Aranguis thought about it. Back heels there. Valdivia stops, starts to the goal line, and he just ran out of real estate. Looks like we could see a couple of changes for Chile. Bocejur is going to exit, and Eugenio Mena will check in. Mena, a regular starter at times until Bocejur was converted into that left wing back, and you can see how much he's appreciated.
Gives you similar abilities, and now Mauricio Pinilla, that's a very different kind of player than anything they've had so far in this match. He is more of a target man. He is very good in the air. Suddenly all those crosses will have a big target to try to find in the center of the box. And also we've seen him in Serie A really have a flair for the unexpected. This guy right here, Pinilla, he'll take a shot from any distance and has been known to score some exceptional goals. Plays for Atalanta.
Both of them coming through the de Chile system. Mena actually got us started Wanderers before moving on to de Chile, which is where he and Pinilla first crossed paths.
Excellent first half from Jorge Valdivia, then dropped off a little bit, maybe had a niggling injury as well. And Sampaoli's not going to want to risk anything.
Don't forget to send us your favorite moments of this or any game to be featured in the locker room at the What I Loved segment, brought to you by Ford. See the websites and the Twitter handles down below. Feel free to get on board. Vargas playing it back, gets it back, but too much weight on the pass. Pizarro tripped. It had to be that or the Earth's curvature, one or the other. The referee's whistle tells you which. Well, this puts the hands on the steering wheel, if you will, for Pizarro without a doubt. Benillo can check back, but he's going to be that physical target in the middle. Pizarro will be piloting the ship.
It's good that they do have that option if they want to change it around completely. Obviously, tactically now, it's a completely different system when you take out Valdivia, an attacking midfielder, for Pinilla, who's more of a traditional number 9, something that Chile don't always play with, especially when they have the attack of Vargas and Alexis Sanchez, two players that like to play wide, like to play with the ball at their feet. Smaller, very quick.
Ball threaded through with backspin. It will hold. Mena into the middle, charging in Sanchez, but it gets cut off in time. I was going to say Mena likes to push forward, maybe not as much as Beauséjour, who was a natural attacker coming in, but not much rest for the weary. Midway through the second half, Pizarro just away from the pressure. Lifted long for Isla, it will carry. Jorge Sampaoli, unlike Bielsa and his cooler, which is where he locks himself down for much of the match, Sampaoli rarely stops pacing. Trying to turn Alas, knocked free, play on. Pinilla tangled, and the whistle will go in Chile's favor. No argument from Larin. Kind of interesting in the case of Isla, as you mentioned, had been at QPR, but the loan expired. QPR finished their season. He's actually a Juve player again, but in Rancagua, where he will be watching tomorrow. Pizarro, dangerous ball high in the air. Pinilla just seemed to hover, but never could get on top of it.
That's exactly what they're trying to do now with these set pieces. Aim for big Mauricio Pinilla in the box, allow him to get a header onto it.
Contreras taking his time. Ref hasn't blown the whistle yet. The fans will do it for him. What does El Salvador have to do to get back in this game?
Well, with the current scoreline, Phil, all they need is one counterattack or one set piece to go their way. We've seen them a few times on those counterattacks get themselves into pretty good positions, but it is so difficult, first off, to dispossess Chile and then to break out of your own half, especially when the strikers are left alone on an island. Now it's Herrera alone up top, all by himself, basically.
First thing El Salvador needs is to get the ball back.
Yeah, easier said than done against a side that holds possession so well.
And Hivar doing well, out to Alas, sends it forward, looking for Herrera. Tries to knock it back, but straight back to Chile it goes. 14th minute. Valdivia from Beauséjour. Only goal of the match with 20 minutes remaining. Some good signs, as we said, for Sampaoli, but kind of have a feeling he would have liked to have seen a couple more. Talked about that first match against Ecuador. Will not be easy. Ecuador, in my mind, the 5th team. The problem is that the top 4, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, and Colombia, going to be very difficult to beat. But if Ecuador can get the result against Chile in the first match, they've kind of tossed themselves into that equation.
You can put Uruguay as well. Right.
Although
there
without
alongside.
Suarez, someone needs to step up there, and someone needs to step up as well on that front line for Ecuador. Alexis, flag stays down. Pinilla goes over. Into the area, the turning shot, smothered nicely by Contreras.
No hesitation there from Pinilla. You see several of the teammates wanted the pass inside the box, continue that free-flowing passing, but Pinilla is a different breed of striker. He'll take his chance anytime he's in and around the box.
By the way, talked about how Ecuador needed some help. Tragedies in the past, well, maybe not quite as tragic, but the injury to Felipe Caicedo really leaves their offense reeling. Even Salt Lake's João Plata, just coming back from an injury himself, headed away at the last moment before Alvarez could pounce.
And he had a pretty good scoring run as well at Espanyol earlier this calendar year, Felipe Caicedo.
Fidel Martinez stepping up in some recent friendlies, and they do have Ener Valencia, who was playing outstanding before an injury at West Ham, so everything else except a proven scorer. And they're probably going to need one of those before it's over. Although Paraguay did make it all the way to the final last time without winning a game. Tackled away from Ladi. And Pizarro basically barking at the fourth official, not happy with some of the physical natures of these challenges. Chile about to make another change. Edu Vargas, dangerous, but not much to show for it. And Angelo Enriquez checks in, the youngster out of Dinamo Zagreb. He's 21 years of age.
It's going to be a different look once again, not as mobile as Edu Vargas.
Nice pressure from Alas.
So now expect the fullbacks to get forward and just play the higher cross, not play it low to the ground every single time like we saw in the first half.
Taking their time getting this into play. Little gap in the middle. Good ball across the six, but unable to meet it. Herrera played back for Larin. Dangerous. Sails past Herrera, headed back. Now Salvador, a half-hearted scream for a handball. Pizarro. First 8 or 9 minutes of the second half were a master class. In fact, if you have the opportunity, you might want to burn that to a disc somewhere and show your grandkids how it's done. Quarter hour left to go. Since then, not quite as razor sharp, but there again showing his ability. Mena. Sanchez. Slaloms. Return from Mena. The Crucero man into the middle, but too close to Contreras. Nice from Isla. So much is going Chile's way except for the scoreboard. Nice turn under pressure, Aranguiz. Alexis slashes to the inside, winning it back. Lunging out Mendoza to get the ball, but he got the man instead.
Been so impressed with Alexis's work rate. Even when he doesn't have the ball, he always tracks back. He tries to get involved in every single attack, and here those quick feet It's
Again,
barged
a
into.
two-footed lunge.
Yep.
Looks like there was another card as we keep an eye on Rapalini. Another substitution for El Salvador. Nani Torres, the 27-year-old out of Alianza, checking in. Get to the thought in just a moment. Diaz has taken pretty much every free kick today, but this one, Alexis, and diving across Contreras, plucking it out of the goal and keeping El Salvador within one.
They've gotten pretty unlucky now, Chile. Could easily be 3-4-0 up. That's great goalkeeping from Luis Contreras. Has to stretch his body. The free kick is perfect, going right into that top corner, but read well by this Salvadoran goalkeeper, 23 years old.
Seems to have provided a bit of a spark. Here's Arturo Alvarez, creates an opening, sneaking it just wide of the near post. What a goal that would have been.
Finally gets a shot off, and it's so close. Going to that near post, and Johnny Herrera was beat. Once again, always cutting in with that left foot. The Chilean players expecting the passes. Alvarez has got good vision as well. Here's the free kick. Yeah, it just needed to be maybe a foot or so more to the left, and I think that one would have been in.
All the way back. 32-year-old fast keeper keeping El Salvador in this one. Javier Garcia, the player replaced by Torres, who's on the ball right now. In for Alas. Little miscommunication as Herrera in the same spot. Chile catching its breath, or maybe El Salvador catching a rhythm. All the way off to the far side, and Torres will let it run. Well, the one point I would say from an El Salvador perspective, they are not going to be facing a team in group play the likes of Chile.
Definitely not.
So if there is a coach that's happy, it might even be Albert Roca.
Yeah, they have performed admirably. They've defended as well as possible. They've really absorbed a lot of the attacks from Chile. Done well so far, considering the opposition and also where they're playing.
Again, driving it in towards the corner. Overlap from Enriquez. Whips it across, thinking about it at the top of the box, but pulling out at the last moment, Penilla. Back to Pizarro. Credit to El Salvador for adapting. Wonder if there was a bit of an injury to Valdivia, because one of the reasons that Pizarro had so much time was that Valdivia was still out there. Again, just a little rushed on the pass. It looks like another Chilean sub. Nico Albornoz checking in.
It's a bigger defender now.
It looks like there's a change as well for El Salvador, also checking in. And it will be a day for Arturo Alvarez.
Excellent from Alvarez. I thought he was the best player for El Salvador, the one really trying to create, going at the defenders. Nearly got a goal here in the second half. Good performance.
Dustin Correa checks in his place. The LA-born El Salvadoran international, ex-U.S. youth player, before going back to his roots. Meanwhile, mentioned Albornoz, the 24-year-old, another German-based defender, actually born in Sweden. and had been a bit of a regular leading up to this Copa America tournament. 24 years of age, just a hair under 6 feet. Nice turn, Albornoz, but he forgot something. Nine minutes remain. Pizarro drives to Isla, who stepped to the inside. Maybe a more attacking role. Pizarro shows it, then plucks it away. Threaded towards the area.
For as good as Chile have been in the build-up play, they will need to be a little bit more clinical, especially with the Copa America coming around. I don't think they'll have this many opportunities against a lot of the teams there. But the scoreline could have been much greater for Chile.
Flatters El Salvador a bit, but as you pointed out, one break away from one of the biggest results in their recent history. Good step back by Herrera. Pushing it down the line. Just unable to catch up Correa. That's got to be a bit concerning. This Bravo will be the number one. Here's Sanchez, lifts and looks. Cuts back to his right, whips it in near post. Bobbled a bit by Contreras, but never really tested. Five substitutes already used by El Salvador. Five as well for Chile. Down to maybe one more if the managers want to do so. Pizarro.
Been impressed with Gary Medel. He is that last line of defense before you hit the goalkeeper for Chile. And every time he's been in possession, he's made the right decision. Always playing that simple ball. Such great work rate. And he doesn't seem to take the chances that he did earlier in his career.
There's two players who could come in for him. If Sampaoli was coaching in a real tournament, wouldn't be surprised if it's Carlos Carmona to lock things down, but we might see Mati Gol to try and light things up before this one is over. Good hustle down the line, Alas, but looks like they're going to say it crossed. It was close. Roca looking down the line in disbelief, and it looks like the referee having a bit of a word. Well, he let it run, but remember, you can see green, and it still might be in. The complete ball needs to be across, including the full circumference. Roca maybe a better angle even than the linesman. 6 minutes remain. Mentioned Burgos, a little surprised we have not seen him yet, maybe nursing a bit of an injury. Another player that is available, we've seen a bit, another California-born kid, Darby Carrillo, the backup goalkeeper, who actually had been starting of late in place of Contreras. Well, the way Contreras played today, he's probably going to hold on for a while. Long cross that just spins all the way through. 85th minute almost done. Carrillo coming through. PSL, ex St. John's player, spent some time with the Atlanta Silverbacks as well. Final sub, and it will be Burgos. One last roll of the dice.
All they need is the goal in the end. Possession stats, shots on target, all get thrown out the window. It is the final result that matters, and El Salvador just one breakaway, as you mentioned before, from getting a draw, which obviously would flatter them quite a bit considering the way the results have gone. But I think El Salvador have nothing to be ashamed of. They've played pretty well. They've defended admirably. And they've absorbed so many waves of constant attack from this Chilean side.
Rafael Burgos, the 27-year-old, plying his trade in Norway with Fredrikstad. His 43rd appearance, so now going almost a 4-4-2. Adel, many have tried, many have failed. Isado back to the pit bull and all the way across. And a good game for Medel and Hara on that back line. Pops up a bit on Larin. Gives Contreras some work to do. And still one change. You kind of think it might be a hero's walk-off for Alexis Sanchez. Here's Burgos, and he is just decked. Albornoz goes in strong.
It's been a clean game so far, Phil. That's probably the first real time that we've seen a harsh challenge. It comes from Albornoz. 2 second-half substitutes. Albornoz just going right into Burgos, and that could have been pretty bad. He doesn't get any of the ball.
Could have been a
red. Right through him. Very dangerous from Mikel Albornoz.
Burgos appeared to be okay. Neither foot planted on the ground when that collision came in. Beautiful crossfield pass. However, Correa unable to maintain possession. Good pressure, though. Dani Torres helping to win it. Here's Burgos spinning away again, just poked free. Aranguiz playing some defense. El Salvador turning the heat up, though. One back by Burgos. Lifts, looks, launches. Diving header, Herrera, but he could not guide it towards goal. Now a chance for Chile. El Salvador pushing forward, looking for an equalizer. Maybe leaving the door open, but a fortunate bounce. '89th minute. Of course, the real key in situations like this is just to avoid an injury. Sampaoli and Roca have to be pleased by that. Medel to midfield. And 1 minute of regulation remains. 11 of the 12 substitutions, assuming Chile makes its 6th. Ball inside for Alexis, trying to go near post, a quick trigger, but Contreras even quicker.
Such a quick shift of direction from the Arsenal man. That little quick step to get the little window of opportunity to rifle this ball in, going near post. That always has to be covered by the goalkeeper. It was going out anyway, but quick reflexes from Contreras to get down, get a hand to it.
Barcelona will be busy tomorrow, but what a season he's had at the Emirates in his debut. 25 goals in all competitions. Long ball wide for Burgos, a foot race with Medel. Smart play of the Norwegian-based attacker, and he's going to get a throw in. Just mentioning all those subs, could easily be 3, maybe even 4 minutes added. It will be the 3. Spinning away from Alexis, who reaches out and pulls Alas. Didn't want to let him get away. Can Johnny Herrera hold on to the clean sheet for the victory? With Burgos and Herrera, they have some targets now. Outside of the boot drive from Larin, turning shot that seemed to catch Herrera frozen.
That could have gone anywhere. He would have been beaten.
Well, the Tigres man with a cannon shot here.
Oh, that deflection.
And it rattles to Burgos.
Yeah, ricochets off of several bodies. And tell you what, Herrera, it's a tough task filling in for Claudio Bravo, but he has taken a few chances, hasn't he? Maybe that extra touch on the ball when he's in possession. Seems very confident on his distribution.
Well, it will be a while when you look back for a victory. Nice from Alexis, keeps it in. Sneaks it across, deflected, and it bounces up off Pinilla and wide.
What another golden chance that was. Excellent touch from Alexis. Had that one option in the box with Big Pinilla.
Looks like Mendoza cramping, trying to scramble back.
There it is, the ball from who else? David Pizarro putting on a masterclass here today in the second half. And let's see, it takes several deflections off the defender, off of Pinilla. Not able to make clean contact with the ball.
Mentioned El Salvador coming off of a loss against Honduras, a draw against Guatemala. They played well for the first half against Argentina at Jack Kent Cooke, but fell in that one 2-0. Little signs that they might be headed in the right direction, and if they can just find someone to score, they could make some noise in the Gold Cup. Was going to say that that could also be a ticket to the Copa America Centenario in 2016, but who knows what's happening with that nowadays. 30 seconds left. Collision of threes. Albornoz denied by Molina. It'll be a corner kick for Chile. Maybe one last chance to add a second, and the fans trying to will it in. On their feet in Rancagua. It's Pizarro towards the penalty spot, and that will do it. Final whistle from Fernando Rapalini. A 1-0 scoreline for Chile. Both teams walk away with pride. For Matteo Bonetti, I'm Phil Shane. The only goal of the match, El Mago Valdivia, 14 minutes in from Beausejour, and enough for Chile to walk out a 1-0 victory.